Well, hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Party Invite Show. This is episode 103, baby. Really excited for that. And we got three of us here today. My name is Tegan. Over here we have Vilos.
Hey.
And over here we have Sovereign Sid.
Hello.
Chris is out this week. He's got some stuff going on. We hope to have him back next week. But today we are talking about what we've been playing, as always. We'll open up with Blissen Up, something that made us smile. But the party topic today, something to chew on at home, is what is a genre that you don't really play that you should play more of? I picked one that I play a little bit, but certainly don't play enough. If you've got one of those, drop us a line in chat or on Twitter, any of our socials. We'd love to hear it. You know, it's easy to find yourself, staying in the same lane all the time, but there's got to be one genre out there that you've wanted to try. But think about that. We'll get to that at the later end of the vodcast. But let's start with Blissen Up. I'm just going to open up with the thing I'm the most excited for. Tomorrow, on Friday, we are playing our first big group stream community night of Sons of the Forest. Really excited for that one. We have a bunch of us, including Vilos. I'm really excited to play with you. We've got like our the normies, the crew that was playing Zomboid this week, who switches and plays a bunch of survival stuff. But we've got a couple more people. We got Vilos in on there. We've got Russ going to join us. We had some really fun times role-playing in Zomboid with Russ. And a few other people who might fill our last slot. We have 7 players for that. That's awesome. That's the way that these big multiplayer sandbox games are meant to be played. Like, they're fun on their own, but I am very excited to do that tomorrow. So yeah, that stream will start tomorrow night around probably the normal podcast time, maybe later, probably later. But keep your notifications on. What we'll do for anybody out there who wants to watch or who wants to play, you can join our Discord anytime. We've got sections for all sorts of games. One of those genres is survival games, so we're keeping all of our information in there. If you're the kind of person who wants to join us on that or any other game, we play shooters, we play brawlers, we play lots of single-player games. There's a spot for you. Just join that and meet our wonderful people. And if you don't trust us yet, watch us on the stream, and we'll promise we only bite the enemies mostly. But another exciting thing about that, we'll have multiple perspectives of that. I know I will be streaming that. Odysseus will be streaming that. That's Odysseus NSJ here on Twitch. And I believe Hot Rod will be streaming that somewhere on his channel that exists. I'd have to be reminded what his Twitch handle is, but yeah, we'll have multiple perspectives of that. That's especially great to me because that means I don't have to try to show everybody all the content to create a good stream. Instead, I'm going to do what I like most and fool around with like building a base, decorating, vanity stuff. I'll let everybody else protect me from cannibals, you know.
You mean you're gonna fuck around and find out?
That's what I'm doing. You know, I'm the fuck around, and Deadpool, Odysseus, those guys, they're the find out. You know, they'll get the business end of whatever weapon I can hand them. So that's really exciting. Sons of the Forest came out about 2 weeks ago, but we've been holding off to make sure everybody had a chance to play on our first session. So thrilled about that. Shout out to everybody in our community who makes this possible. These are games that wouldn't have been on my radar. Like, they wouldn't have been possible for me to play. Like, it basically wouldn't be an option if I could only play, like, Sons of the Forest or Don't Starve or Zomboid with only 1 or even 2 other people. But to have 6+ people regularly available to jump on that stuff, that is awesome. So, appreciate y'all out there. That made me smile. That's going to keep making me smile all throughout this weekend. So, yeah. Keep an eye on our Twitch page here. It's gonna be good stuff. How about you guys? How about Vilos?
Yeah, I decided that I am gonna take a small vacation next weekend, so that made me smile because
Treat
I've got a
yourself.
couple plans.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna see a friend I haven't seen in a very, 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 very long time at a roller derby game.
Oh.
I'm actually gonna be close to Odysseus, so I haven't mentioned anything to them yet, but
Sorpresa!
that I might be chilling out around him for a little bit. So we'll see. I'm very relatively close. So just putting feelers out. But yeah, next week I'm gonna go to a couple places, and one of my favorite places, the St. Louis Botanical Gardens,
Oh,
because
hell yeah,
Oh, that's
dude.
gonna be so good.
it's my favorite place ever, and I haven't been in a long time. So I decided that I'll do that after some fun stuffs.
Some
Undisclosed,
gallivanting and
undisclosed gallivanting.
yeah,
Yes, that is exactly it. I am
some
purposely
debauchery.
Yep.
potentially some. We'll see. Yeah, but that's what vacation's for, right? And I haven't done that in a long time because my last vacation really wasn't a vacation; it was an escape. So
Subscribe now
And
for
he's
exclusive
also
behind the scenes footage of Vilos' vacation.
don't tempt him; he'll do it.
Viewer
right.
discretion is advised.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, the St. Louis Botanical Garden is dope. Went there for the first and only time in May last year. Great time to visit it. But nice thing about a botanical garden is they've got stuff that's pretty much going year round. And St. Louis specifically has that like Climadome or whatever it's called, Climatron. I think that's what it's
There
called.
we go. The Climatron. You were right.
This huge Epcot hexagon-looking dome thing that has all sorts of stuff, tropical plants and just anything that probably isn't native living in there. It's sick.
That
Very
sounds
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like seven. I think it's seven different temperate zones. Yeah. So
It's
Wow.
very cool.
the best. I missed. I apparently they had an orchid thing that ended earlier this week, but it was like dozens of orchids that are not native to Missouri, obviously. Um, yeah, but it's like the perfect time. I've gone to the botanical gardens at the beginning of the spring a few times, and every time you time it just right, like middle March to April, it's just fucking phenomenal. It's so pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, that place, that's like the first botanical garden I went to, and I was just like, oh, so this is why it's such a big deal. Like, this is why people like this stuff so much. Um, it's
Yeah, because
also,
there's one around here too. I mean, I think I actually just moved right down the street from it, but it's all right. It's there. It's a botanical garden, so you know what to expect when you go there. But like this
plants, I
one,
hope.
the St. Louis one sounds like it's on like a whole nother level,
It
and I'm
absolutely
jealous.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the koi fish at that one that
Hey,
you're
quick,
talking about,
what?
the one the fish that are at the place that you're talking about are all right, but like the yeah, like koi pond, catfish, like there's all kinds of little
Oh my god.
nooks to find.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Uh,
Well, just saying, I could fit into a travel size suitcase. If you need some company.
well,
I don't doubt that you could.
yeah. Well, I'm excited for you, Vilas. That's gonna be a good time. Um, yeah, yeah. I I'm jealous actually. I wish I could go to
Like me too.
the
Yeah.
botanical garden right now. Yeah, because I mean now, like, no offense against St. Louis, but I've never been to St. Louis and thought can't wait to do X Y Z. But now I do. Like now anytime I have a night in St. Louis, if I can help it, I would love to visit that garden again. So
Welcome to
Midwesterners
St. Louis. Come for the botanical gardens. Stay to get shot sometime.
or to eat toasted ravioli.
You know, 50
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
It's very likely either or both of them will happen. Sure.
Why not at the same time? You know. Sav, how about you? What's good?
Well, everything. I'm a Smiley McGee. You know me. So I tried to temper it because there's actually a lot going on this weekend. Um, so first of all, tomorrow I get to be a part of a secret announcement. Ooh. It's so secret that I don't even know what it is. And I could have asked, but I didn't
Wow.
because I wanted to be surprised. And apparently I'm the only person involved with this announcement who hasn't asked what it's about. So, yay me, I guess. I guess I'll find out tomorrow, and so will y'all. So stick tuned. Stick tuned. You know what I mean. Keep dialed in to all the socials and find out what that is because apparently it's a big one.
Yep.
I will
Stick
say it
tuned.
has something to do with KCP. So
Oh,
that's
esports,
something.
video
Yeah,
games.
Vidgarms out here. We out here winning,
Mm.
Dad. So
That's the good stuff.
there's that, and I'm excited about that. Also, tomorrow is going to be the first time I've been to First Fridays. Speaking of things that we haven't done for like a long time, in maybe 10 years.
What, 10? I thought you'd
Yeah.
say 2 because of COVID. Oh gosh.
No, no, it's been a really long time because, after my first boyfriend who was very artsy, we went to like Nelson Museum all the time. We went to like first Fridays like all the time. After that, like nobody really was interested in going anymore. So I just didn't go because I didn't want to go by myself. So I
Well,
just didn't.
double-edged sword. Um, while art is very cool, First Fridays is like barely art anymore.
Oh,
Uh,
is it?
down in the crossroads. Oh yeah, it's just. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really like First Fridays, but now it's pretty much just a place to listen to music and drink beer and stuff. Uh,
Still got food though.
So,
you still got
okay.
food, and there are artists down there. Just understand it's going to be very different than it was 10 years ago.
I mean, yeah, a decade's a really long time, but I'm excited. I want to see what's different, what's been the same, and all that. Like it's a whole day planned, apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that'll be great. The Crossroads is my favorite district in Kansas City, and it's not even close. So it's assuming that's where you're going. You didn't say that, but I assume that's where you're going.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Like it's happening right after the whole secret announcement filming video thing. So like I'm gonna be over there, and then I'm gonna be whisked away to this First Fridays thing about the whereabouts of which I don't know. So
Okay,
I don't know. I'm excited. It's gonna
that
be a
is
full.
exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Send pics. All right.
No St. Louis or anything, but whatever.
Oh. Wow.
Also, apparently I'm an influencer now.
Apparently,
Because
I feel like. Oh, okay. Sorry. Carry on. Go on.
I mean like an actual, someone who goes somewhere for a specific purpose to be an influencer rather than just happening to be there and be influential. You know what I mean? Does that make
Kind of. I'm
sense?
still gonna poke fun at you for it, but yes, I do
Okay.
understand what you mean.
So recently there's a ramen bar that opened up around here called Ginger Ramen. And I found out about it through a friend's post on Facebook. And I went, and they had two events that day where, you could go in there and have free ramen. So the first time, it was like the first 50 customers or whatever. First time I went, I missed out on being the first 50. But then I came back the second time, and I was the first in line with Lord Chrome, no less. He came out with me. He actually left his apartment, and we got to hang out in real life. It's
Wow.
crazy. I met Wade. I
I
met
love
Wade
that
in real life.
I love that you keep dragging him on it though. Just
No, that's like that's not.
he actually left his apartment.
It's like
Listen,
the kid who comes down the
that's his
stairs and
whole
you're
thing,
like,
though.
"Thank you for or you're finally joining us."
Those are his words, though. I'm only paraphrasing what he said.
That's funny.
So I'm not directly jabbing at him.
No
Oh, it
harm,
was
no
funny.
foul.
It's funny. It's funny. But it was good. It was fun. And we met the owner and everything. He was really nice. And because I had come back that day, I was the first welcome back, first of all. I was the first official returning customer of that establishment, which is cool. Nobody else could say that about the establishment ever because I took it. But because I came back and I brought a friend and, um, you know, I told people about it and all that whatnot, the owner showed appreciation for it by knocking off like everything else on because it was for a free ramen, but you still have to pay for everything else on the ticket, appetizers, drinks, blah blah blah. So he covered the whole ticket, and then he gave me his number to connect him to people that work at Nakacon because he wants to talk to them about working together because he has a thing in Tulsa, Tokyo and Tulsa, that anime convention there. So I'm in the process of like mediating that and all that whatnot. So look at me over here being influential. Yay!
That's dope.
Not a career I thought I would actually like pursue, but I guess
You're
life
living
throws
it.
stuff at you.
Nintendo.
Ninja.
Like all these investorships, and you're like, never thought it could happen. Not to me.
Quick, oh my gosh, how did how did little old me get a hold of this? And it's you just like, ah! Well,
I'm very happy
wonderful.
for you though.
Yeah, Sav, I'm really excited for that. Man, I'm jealous. Man, we all have a good weekend ahead of us, huh? Like that all sounds top tier, if I do say so myself. Sons of the Forest vacay and influenza.
I'm sick.
We'll workshop. But yeah, that's all very exciting. Yeah, Chet, let us know what you're looking forward to this weekend. What's gonna make you smile? Well, yeah. What did I say? So my Blissen Up was Sons of the Forest. That's what we will be playing this weekend. But what we are playing right now
Ooh,
looks
segue.
a little different. I'm gonna pull up some of my stream from Monday. So for this time will be different. Our roguelike Monday streams. We played FTL, Faster Than Light, a wonderful game from 2012 made by Subset Games, composed by Ben Prunty. That game rules. And so while I've beaten it exactly once, because that game is really hard, and I'm never turning it off easy. I don't see any reason to ever put it on normal. Normal's way too hard. Um,
Don't let the From Software people hear you say that.
Gosh, well, that's why they only got one setting, and you deal with it. If FTL was like that, it might be a different story because really, like the game's fun, but boy, defeat will just surprise you because it's not that it's difficult all the time; it's that something will happen, and all of the sudden, your ship's blown up. So let me back it up. FTL, for those who don't know, is this wonderful pausable game. You can pause at any time to take stock of what you're doing, and I love that about it. You're on a ship. You are the Federation in space, and you're trying to escape the rebels. They are slowly chasing you across the galaxy. Imagine it like a reverse version of you've got the plans for the Death Star, and you've got to get it to your homies at the edge of the galaxy. So that's basically what it is. So what you do on your ship, it's a top-down situation. You are sending your infantry units, your crewmates. You're sending them throughout your ship to put out fires, to attack people who are on board, or to boost certain systems like your shields or your weapons or your engines. There's a bunch of stuff that you can end up doing, but in so doing that, you're fighting all these ships that have different aliens in them that have different strengths and weaknesses and weapons and yada yada. So every fight's a little bit different, but just like any roguelike, so much of it is you, the player, learning how to actually play. So like you are leveling up, basically, because the game's going to send you a lot of combat and non-combat situations that you've got to kind of roll the dice on. You roll up to a ship, and you're outmatched. Well, do you try to kill it for whatever loot it's going to give you, or do you try to escape? Or maybe you're low on health, and you totally could kill the ship that just showed up, but it might leave you in a place where you're weakened so that the next fight you'll get blown up, But then these non-combat ones, they're not just decisions on like, do you follow that ship or don't you? Which is some of how it works. There aren't really right and wrong answers. It's just RNG. You flip a coin, and either it goes your way or it doesn't. But if you upgrade your ship in certain ways, or you have certain weapons or augmentations to your ship, you can automatically win. You can automatically succeed the role, basically, in a lot of these online, or in a lot of these random chance encounters. So this was actually the example that I used. I'm not going to show it on screen, but FTL was the example when we had our podcast recently. We talked about games that we'd like to see turned into a TV show. And so the two that I picked were FTL and their other game, Into the Breach. They're both great. In this one, I came up with I think it was actually at the start of the stream, the very first random encounter I had. It was like, hey, there's a disease outbreak on this planet, and everybody's losing their minds. What do you want to do? So you can either not care, you can try to send your people down to help somehow, or if you have one of many certain upgrades, then you can automatically win. You can succeed, and they'll reward you for it. So the one I had was I had a spaceship full of engineers, or Engies, they're called. They're aliens that are basically robots. They're immune to disease. That's pretty cool. So I was able to send my immune guys down to help, like, stop the panic, stop the riot, automatically calm things down, and the people are like, hey, this gives us a chance to figure out a cure. Here's some stuff. Go on your way. And that's something that right there I'm just like, this is an episode of a TV show. Like if they could turn this into Cowboy Bebop, basically like an anthology series, where, because it's a roguelike, so like send random people into this universe and just have a random encounter happen. It's an episode. So really enjoyed doing that. Yeah, let me get one of these videos up here. But yeah, it was great stuff. I had some help from Shanny. Shanny Peck was like my number one on the ship. Let's see. Let's go to my my footage here. I think we're about to light this ship on fire. It'll be a minute. I'm going to keep talking, but Shanny was the voice of reason as we had certain decisions, and I was like, I could do something kind of dumb and crazy, and Shanny's like, or you could do that thing that you've been talking about for 15 minutes that you could solve right now, huh? So, voice of reason, he was smart. Let's actually we'll put this over here. What I did in this run, to just keep telling you about it, because really FTL is such a fun game. I can't shout it enough. If you've never heard of the game, go listen to the soundtrack on Spotify. If you've listened to the soundtrack and you want to play it, just buy it right now. It's so good, and it's such a wonderful time sink. Yeah, really a top tier video game, and it's 11 years old, and it's you could tell me that they made this game yesterday, and I believe you. But this particular run that I had, I died twice during this run, and then this was my successful one that we ended stream with. Hopefully, I'll stream it again here soon because I had a great time. I specifically chose weapons where I was trying to kill their crewmates, not blow up their ship. Most of the game is you just blowing up enemy ships and you take the wreckage. Then that's how it is. But if you kill the crewmates and leave the ship intact, there's a really good chance that you'll get significantly more loot. So what I did here, instead of blowing up their ship, I would break their wimpy little shield. I'd pause it, like you see now, and I'd use my fire beam attack. And now their whole ship's on fire. You can't see that right now because this weird ship that I have didn't come with good radar, good sensors to see into the enemy ship. So in a moment, you'll see me realize that I can turn on my radar, and you'll see exactly how much fire there is on that ship. But it made for a very good run because I was just constantly getting basically double loot from all of my battles because I was able to burn out the enemies. Here, we'll take a closer look. So I'm lighting the ship on fire, which the fire can hurt them, but what's really going to happen here is the fire is going to burn up all the oxygen, and with if they run out of oxygen, they get hurt too. So it's the enemy clambering here to try to repair their med bay and their oxygen chamber so that they can survive this fight. They're not going to. I'm way too strong, and I have a ship that basically I upgraded in a good way where they can't break my shield to hit me. So I wasn't in a lot of danger. It allowed me to play it, to experiment a little bit. Look, they're like, hey, we're going to try to get out of here. No, you aren't, because your whole ship is on fire and your engines are blowing up. Anyway, FTL's great. After this, I was going to show you a bit from the flak cannon I got, which is a new weapon that, it just fires a bunch of trash at the enemy. And for the very first time, I one-shotted an enemy ship. That has never happened to me before. Look, okay, I think we're about to see their whole ship on fire. Let's check it out. Yep. And that's a lot of fire. That's a lot of fire right there. That's the whole ship. They've seen better days, They probably should have surrendered to me because they're not doing well. But yeah, it was fun to do that. Game's wonderful. I basically I had to switch. Do I want to kill the crewmates by burning them out, or do I use the flak cannon? Because the flak cannon was so powerful that it just blew up the ship every time immediately. So it's a good problem to have, but it was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I might show you the flak one later because I've already been flapping my lips about this. But that was FTL. Really fun time. You can find the VOD for that on Twitch and on YouTube. It's great. I hope this inspires somebody out there to play it because it's rad. I think I've said that 9 times, and I mean it. Yeah, so that's FTL. It's awesome. Go play it. It can't be more than 10 or $15 on Steam. It's the good stuff.
Constantly in Humble Bundle deals and stuff.
Yep. Twitch is saying halberds in chat because I played this with the halberd beam weapon that you saw if you're looking closely. One day after I accidentally stole Deadpool's halberd in Project Zomboid, and he'll never let me forget it. You log out one time with the wrong item, and they just won't let it go. But let's bounce over to one of you guys. How about Sav?
That's me.
Hello. So you did a ton of gaming, almost nothing but gaming, literally the whole time since the last podcast. I think I understood you correctly, right?
Yeah, and the whole time I was influencing.
Oh.
I would hold up the video game to the camera, like with my hand behind it, like this.
Were you the roof? Well, I think once upon a time they called her Rooftop Karen, and before Karen became like had a different name. But remember the original Nintendo Switch commercial? You know, there was the girl on the rooftop playing her Switch at the party. Come on, you know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah, okay, yeah, I do remember that one.
I'm
Okay,
not crazy.
that's too funny.
Uh,
I think that's one of my favorite Nintendo commercials. Besides the one with Beyonce playing the DS, that was a good commercial because she was just like having so much fun. She's like, I've never played a video game before. Like,
that's good. I'll have
it's
to
so good.
look that up. Yeah. Well, that's a real thing. So I just imagine you at the ramen shop. Left hand is like your camera's looking back at you, and you got your Switch next to you. Lord
Actually,
comes
it's
over.
funny because the game that I'm about to talk about is the only game that I've played all week since the last podcast, and it was at the ramen shop while I was waiting in line with Lord Chrome.
Lol.
Yeah, and so we were actually sitting at the table with both of our Switches out, like they were propped up on the table with the kickstands, and we just looked like a couple of nerds. And we had the center table too, so it was in front of everybody. So Switches just sitting there. And that's actually how I got the owner's number because we were talking about being like anime nerds and game nerds and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, you know about the convention?" And anyway, I digress. Um, so while we were waiting outside, I didn't want to play anything like terribly, what's the word, immersive, because then I wouldn't want to stop playing. And I was hungry and I didn't really want to pay attention to anything or focus on anything. So I decided to play Tetris on the Nintendo Switch Online thinger.
Tell me about that brand new video game.
Well, it came out in insert present day here, and it's very it's timeless. It's a classic. Having just come out in this current present day and time frame. But no, Tetris. I mean, it's Tetris. There's
Let's see. I googled Tetris release date, and it says March 31st, 2023. Tetris is streaming on Apple Plus. The game you couldn't put down, the story you couldn't make up. That's what you're talking about, right?
You had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, that's funny.
April 15th, 1989. Looks like the. Oh gosh, no, this is not. No, that's the Sega Genesis. I knew that couldn't be far enough back.
Did you spell it with the backwards R? It makes all the difference.
Oh, hold on. I gotta type. I gotta put this into my keyboard.
Well, all you have to do is just turn your R upside down. It works like that. Don't ask me how. Technology's weird.
That's that influencer only information. This says 1989. Whatever. This is not that important. Didn't it come out in like I don't know. I thought it was the early 80s, but I guess not. Chat first one to correctly name the
1984.
Tetris release date.
Yeah.
It looks like 1984.
1984, baby. So what kind of Tetris player are you? Right? Like, are you do you actually go for the Tetrises, which newsflash to a lot of people, when you use the 4 block and you eliminate all 4 lines at the same time, that is called a Tetris. You get singles, doubles, triples, Tetris. Boom.
Yep. So I am the kind of person who does go for Tetrises. Tetrises? Tetrises, yeah, sure. And I just think it's more satisfying. I like stacking them up in a peculiar way and then just suddenly clearing them and washing them. And the sound that it makes, especially in the classic Tetris game, is so satisfying. It's so good. It perks my ears and it makes my blood all happy. Like, it's so nice.
This person's not happy enough. They need Tetris in their blood.
I need Tetris in my blood. I want to get a Tetramino tattoo. That's gonna be my first tattoo. Just Tetramino right there. Bam. I haven't decided which letter yet, but it's gonna be a Tetramino for sure.
A Tetramino? That's the color blindness I have, I think.
No, that's the name of the blocks. They're called Tetraminos.
Tetraminos. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I just thought they were ambiguously called those blocks from Tetris. You know the one, the L one. That's the whole title.
Blocks from Tetris, formerly known as Tetraminos.
Really
You
known.
say the whole thing like type names like that.
Oh goodness. Is that well, whatever. I'm getting off track here. So Tetris is good. Timeless. Released on a million things, including you playing on your Switch.
Indeed, on the Game Boy Virtual Console.
Nice.
And it's just regular Tetris. They don't have like Tetris Attack or Tetris Plus or anything yet. So
Hey, basics are all you need. When you're that
it
good.
got me through that waiting line.
All right.
Type A music is the best Tetris music. Don't at me.
It's yeah. It's a real banger. There are a lot of wonderful remixes by the One Ups and a bunch of other artists of that type A. Type A?
Type A.
Yeah, the Type A music.
It sounds like we're saying like the name of the country.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Type A. Not made in Taipei is the game Tetris. It's got that Russian sounds like Russian folk music to it. But anyway, let's Vilos. You've also been playing some video games, I think. Tell us about this.
Yeah, as a quick side note, Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo just put out a post that Metroid Fusion is in a week.
Whoa,
Oh,
really?
really?
Yes, Metroid Fusion on the 9th. Yes,
Wow.
But only if you have the
very
expansion
excited.
pack, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you gotta have that. Gotta have that. But
Goodness, they just said take all the Metroid stuff all at once, huh?
yeah, I'm very happy about that.
Good for them.
Well, I have a
I
couple
like that.
slots left on my family pack if y'all need to get in on the action.
Exactly.
It just costs you 2,000 bits.
I don't know what the conversion rate on that is. But yeah, as far as games that I have been playing, I actually did get to play some games despite my injury, which I'm getting close to being healed, I guess. But it's like a chronic injury now, so I'm kind of screwed. Um, but I did finally get some real time into Fire Emblem Engage, which has been a good ass time. It's not as satisfying. I put about 12 hours into it so far, and it's not as satisfying as Three Houses was, but it's getting to that point because every Fire Emblem game has a story point that shakes up the formula, and then a few hours later it shakes it up again, and
When
then
you
a
say a
few
few
hours
hours
later.
later, honest question.
This time, as far as the internet is concerned, this one was about 10 hours in, and then there's usually another like 3/4 of the way through sort of big twist. So probably another 15ish, maybe. Actually, no, probably 10 more hours because some of the more conservative numbers is saying that people are getting done with this in like 30 to 35 hours.
Oh,
Um,
that's
Obviously,
shorter than I expected.
that's without playing some of the stuff on the side because you do have paralog chapters where you're just there to grind some more and get some hopefully better characters, which is always the case. You're always going to find a paralog chapter to get somebody that's better than somebody that's already on your team.
Are those like I'm barely familiar with Fire Emblem. You guys know outside of Smash and
Mhm.
some of the stuff I see in the directs. Um, Fire Emblem loves to have what basically I think you just described, where it's like, hey, here's a random character. Do you want them? Here's a 4-star random
Yeah.
named character. Like, is that kind of what's going on?
Uh, Technically, yeah. It gives you a quick little story beat of you're in this village, and this kid in a fucking cap that's actually a pot or whatever is trying to protect his village, and that's what's
As
his
you do.
name? Is it his name Donald? That's Donald, I think, from Awakening. I don't know. There's so many fucking Fire Emblem characters, but yeah, they give you a quick story beat. You complete the battle, and as long as you've done it right, and you're not on hardcore mode, and you accidentally fucking kill them,
Oops.
then yes, they'll be on your party as an available member in your next battle. Um, and like I said, usually they give you really good characters in the paralogs. In this particular case, uh, I've only done 2 paralogs, I think, but it did give me the opportunity to get a better magic user, which is super helpful because with Fire Emblem, there's the weapon triangle. So you've got lances, swords, and axes, and then there's magic users, martial users, or martial arts users, and archers that are going to be different as well. So the weapon triangle is its own thing, and then anybody that doesn't have any of those 3 weapons is its own thing. So you always have to have a magic user on your team, at least one, and at least one healer as well. And yeah, you're showing some of that that lovely. That is what I shared on Twitter. Great. Um,
Yay, Colgate-chan.
yeah, what I learned from my 12 hours in, well, literally half the dialogue in this game is about how hot Alear is. And I'm not being hyperbolic. Like, legitimately, every single main character has said how attractive Alear is to them in some way. Chloe here, she's literally talking about uh, about keeping watch while Alear is sleeping. Alear is the divine dragon, and she has been asleep for 1,000 years.
Classic.
So realistically, she shouldn't sleep at all anymore. But whenever she does sleep now, since Chloe is in my party, Chloe is a creeper and will stare at her the entire time.
Good.
Yeah, and
Just
that is
making sure you're getting your 40 winks.
yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. So there's a lot of things. There is just in the part of the story that I just hit. There is basically a trans hero sort of character that is really interesting so far. I haven't gotten them in my party yet, but I think I'm like the next chapter probably going to. That like this the cast is so ridiculous in every Fire Emblem game, but this one they actually got some diversity, actual diversity in. Uh,
Tamara. She's the only one I care about. Tamara's one. She's the best. She's the best. She's the best.
yeah, I'm like 2 chapters away from the next country in which I will
It's the
meet
best country.
all of them. So that's gonna be the best. But it's really fun to see. The art style is really outstanding. Literally every character is gorgeous, and it's like, man, like you can't not love all of them, and that's kind of how it was in Three Houses too. Although there were a couple that I could fucking live without. But so far in this game, my entire party's been great. You have your two retainer or three retainers, so you've got a cavalry guy and a magic user and a martial arts user that are your party from the start, and they're all really interesting characters. They're living to serve the divine dragon. That's you. So it does feel very, very anime, but
No.
uh, yeah. And of course, I'm playing female Alear because I never don't play the female leads in these games.
Honestly, who does?
Um,
Like even in Smash Bros, who chooses male Byleth? Like who?
I cannot understand anybody that would, but
Even in
um,
our multiplayer games now, like Lizzie played through Mass Effect as Fem Shep, and I originally played it as male Shepard, and I thought it was great. But now when I'm playing all these games, especially with other guys, I'm like, well, you guys are all picking dudes. Like, I get it, but I'm definitely picking the female characters. So like everything we play now, Dark Tide and Raft and even Phasmophobia and stuff, I'm always picking a woman. I didn't originally intend to like set out to do that, but I'm like, yeah, we're never gonna see any of these character models, or in this case, like, I had a friend. I had a friend. I was like, why do you always play this specific character in Fortnite? And he was like, well, if I got to look at a character for 100 hours, I'd rather it was this one. I was like, okay, that's a straightforward answer. I get that.
yep. And so right now, I'm spending my time trying to get through the chapters. I knew I wasn't going to be able to beat Fire Emblem in February, just the way that the month went. But
Yeah.
uh,
Wow.
as
Wow.
far as my JRPG list, uh, but
Vilos, the
it's
chat is
okay.
on fire. They're saying, I can't believe you've done this. They
Yeah,
say they say you're never gonna play a JRPG again. You're a fake
yeah.
JRP gamer.
You're a phony. You're a big fat phony.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to turn off the chat. It's just I can't even read anything because the hate. Gosh, wow, I can't believe we've done
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Um,
And and so like right now I'm kind of just doing the Fire Emblem have tos. There's a certain point in the game that you're always going to want to grind. You're going to go through the paralog chapters and get experience. And in this particular instance, the emblems. So basically, your ability to use old characters from the remainder of the series. You've actually lost. You lost three. You lose three emblems at this point in the game,
and emblems are people.
and they are rings that hold the spirit of the people. And yeah, it's
Yep.
basically your enemy power,
Hell yeah.
your Power Rangers power. And so I lost three of them. I feel like it's four, but maybe it's just three of them. and then the next chapter you regain one or two of them, and the rest of the game is going to be about getting the full 12 emblems, to fully have your power to beat the Fell Dragon, blah blah blah. But it's really it's so good. Like, you can't fuck up Fire Emblem. That's the thing. And they definitely did a few different things from the norm. Like, some of the dialogue is just a little bit cringy, and that's coming from me. Like, I don't usually cringe at that kind of stuff, but this one is a little bit, just
What
because
do
of
you
how
mean? It's just standard Fire Emblem affair.
like every
Oh, great, gorgeous hero, please come to save our realm, boobity titty.
like, okay, see, the funny thing is, like, everybody says, "Hey, Awakening was when I got into the game series, when I got into the Fire Emblem series," and that's where I did. Okay,
I mean, Camilla
It has
but
existed,
awakened
so
something in you.
but Camilla was the next game. That was
oh, that's
Fates.
right, that's Fates,
I
that's
love
right.
Fates, but a lot of people
Mhm.
didn't like Fates. All right, and I'm sitting here going, okay, well, these guys actually do need to chill out a little bit on Alir. Like, these guys are literally worshiping our every single character. But yeah, Salv, if you got into this game, you would find a few too many husbandos as well. There's
Husbandos.
I've
Hell
been
there's a
actually
lot of
paying attention.
yeah.
I accidentally raided into someone who I didn't realize was playing the game, but it was just someone that I appreciate watching, and I actually stuck around and I ended up watching the end of the game, and I was like, "Oops." So I
What?
already know like a whole bunch of the characters like who exist in the game, and there are some definite husbandos out there.
I mean, there's this dude named Diamant. Like, come on,
Oh my
like
god, and he's such a bad singer, but I love it.
the 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 names and the looks. Like, these guys are all everybody's color coded in some way, and they have very particular archetypes, and usually that's a bad thing, but in this case they are pretty fun. And the actual day-to-day gameplay is fantastic. It's just super smooth, and it technically plays better than Three Houses did. So that's a plus too.
Hell yeah. Fire Emblem good.
And so's the plot.
Yep, we play Fire Emblem. Well, so when we played the clip before Jerp said in chat, he goes, that clip I saw wasn't very emblematic of solid writing.
That's
uh,
probably emblematic of something else.
you know, but they
Because
pretty
Fire
though.
Emblem.
Um, I'm excited. Okay, so how far into this are you versus the total estimated playtime?
I'm like an hour away from halfway through.
Okay.
So
Okay, well, cool. I mean,
Not
that
terrible.
seems like you're doing fine. Yeah, I mean, I know you got plenty of stuff ahead of you on your list, which is on our website, partyinvite.games. Uh, but you've been playing plenty of stuff. It doesn't seem like it's been that much of a shortage of gaming. But that almost makes me more happy for you that you're less likely to burn yourself out. But you know your own limits and stuff. But uh, I mean, it's still impressive to see you playing this level of JRPG with your huge task, like your huge goal for yourself. But also playing a bunch of other stuff too. You've been playing the heck out of a bunch of other indies and all this, and hell, you're playing Sons of the Forest tomorrow. When you told me you were interested in that, I was pretty surprised. So,
yeah, it's gonna be wild.
yeah, color me happy. Well, wonderful. Well, that is Fire Emblem Engage. You've got XC3 on here, which uh, I can only imagine is
Yeah,
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
that might be.
Yeah?
Might indeed be. Yeah. And Jerp sat in there with me in Discord chat as I played through some Xenoblade 3, because the third wave of DLC for Xenoblade 3 came through, and
And what did it
it
feature? Any type of gameplay
uh,
loops that I would be interested in?
perhaps
Did it
it
have really good plot?
yes, it kind of did. It actually, they did drop one new character. Her name's Masha, and of course, she's got a new class type. So people are figuring out how to play as her. She's basically a character that just, what was it? Because I haven't used her much,
Wait,
but
is this the cat-like character with the chakram?
no,
She's got
no,
chakram. Well, she's
no.
not a cat-like
That's
character, but
Mio.
she's got
That's Mio. But
she does have chakram, but I don't think she's a cat though. They're like really
yeah,
pretty crystalline, like
yes,
colorful chakram.
Masha is actually a crystalline character. Her whole thing is that she creates these gems of sort.
I'm so
that
obsessed
that
with
help
her.
you
She reminds me of.
that help you create these accessories.
I think there's a character in like Final Fantasy X that she reminds me of who has gray hair.
Lulu.
Is that Lulu?
She's very similar to Lulu.
Well, hell yeah, I did it. I named two JRPGs in the same sentence and said an
Almost
actual
got something
fact. I
right.
almost knew their names.
Yes.
uh,
Um,
yeah, I popped in for a little bit for you with you playing this on Discord before you and Jerp were in there. I actually was proud of myself that I recognized the game and was able to call it out. But it looked, there's a lot going on. I took a screenshot at one point that I don't think I got around to sharing, but it was just one of those comical times where like there's so much going on the screen because like you and your party members are all doing their own abilities and they all have their own numbers and the boss enemy, if there's only one of them, which there's usually ads and stuff, are jumping around. At least I think there are, and doing flips and shit, and all this, and it was wild, but like it was fun to watch because when I'm not the one playing, I don't have to know the significance of all that stuff that's happening. So when I was watching you play that, I could just kind of sit back and just take it in a little bit,
mhm.
which is great too because you said that this was like a roguelike addition to the game.
Yeah, the Wave 3 DLC, this is called the Archsage Gauntlet. And the Archsage is this like basically mythological character in the series that is always the reason why you can do these like challenge modes and stuff. There's time trials, and now there's the Archsage Gauntlet. The Archsage Gauntlet is a roguelike in which you have the choice at the very beginning to start with one of your party members as you have them in your party currently, which is really cool because you can adjust anything just before you get into the Archsage Gauntlet. So you decide what party members you're going to have, equip them with whatever accessories, just do whatever you can to adjust their classes and stuff like that. And then once you get to it, it's a wave format. And in certain difficulties, you have different number of waves that you can get up to. Like the hardest difficulty is 140 waves. I have not gotten to that.
140?
140 waves, which I'm pretty sure takes about 4 to 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost as
Uh,
bad as like the Adamantoise battle from Final Fantasy 15.
yeah, like it would be legitimately a gauntlet is the best way to say it. Um, but when I was playing over the weekend, um, I did I think the normal mode and the easy mode Archsage Gauntlet, and I actually breezed through both of them, which I didn't do before. I'd gotten like 3/4 of the way through both of those, or through the normal one before I did this. Um, but yeah, the whole thing is that first round you choose one party member, and then each round after you get money from what you did to then buy different things, whether that's buying a new character or buying a very particular ability. So it'll do something like you have this much of a buff on this stat, and maybe it'll curse you in this way. Or sometimes it's as simple as your next shop visit, everything's going to be cheaper. And there's a whole lot of little factors that go into it every round that are randomized that make it very, very interesting.
That's cool.
But in my particular case, like it's all about uh, getting the right amount of money to get the right characters at the right time. Because every 10 levels is a boss battle. And so if you beat that boss, you actually get what's called a shuffle ticket, and you're able to shuffle up what's available in the shop on the next round if you want to.
That's for defeating a boss?
Yeah, every time you defeat a boss, you get a shuffle ticket, and so you want to use the shuffle tickets because if you somehow make it 50 levels, you're gonna have to use a couple shuffle tickets to so you don't lose that ability to shuffle when you absolutely have to, because you're also against a timer. There's a little timer watch in the corner of the screen that's going down the entire time during the actual battles. And so if you're not doing things fast enough, then you're just not going to be able to make enough money. You're not going to be able uh, to restore that time enough, because you can actually buy some more time every once in a while in the shop. So like there's so many really cool things in there that make it like an extra special roguelike, and it's the reason I actually played it, because I don't typically play roguelikes, and this was the perfect opportunity. And if if you want to know what Xenoblade is like, watch somebody play the Archstage Gauntlet, because you're going to be like, okay, I cannot handle the combat, or ooh, I want to handle that
Yeah,
combat.
I feel like you will instantly know
Yeah.
which side of that line you stand on.
Yeah, and like I didn't try it afterwards, but there's still an option to visually take off most of the UI on the screen. So if you have somebody that does have issues visually, you can always take that off. Although it's like it's so much. Like I'm actually surprised the Switch can do what it does with all the shit that's going on. Um, like there's literally so many numbers on the screen whenever there's 6 or 7 enemies and you've got 4 to 6 party members, and they're all doing things at the same time, all
Oh
getting
my
hit,
gosh.
giving damage. Like it's
Well,
ridiculous.
which version of the Switch do you have? Do you have like not the OLED, but the new one before that? Like the one, the
Yeah, I
not
had the V2 that was the Animal Crossing V2.
Oh, the V2. Okay, that's what it's called. I was trying to
Yeah,
think of what it was called. Okay. The V2 did have some nice optimization there, so I'm not terribly surprised it was able to run it as well as it is, especially
yeah.
compared to the day one Switches. So that's cool. That's cool though. Although there is the rumor going around that they might be announcing something with quote unquote Switch 2 later this year, because there was like a big old leak on Reddit where it talked about the Pokemon Presents stuff, and it literally got everything right.
Oh yeah,
So people are speculating, like at the end of that leak, it was just like Switch 2 is coming out this year, blah blah blah, or some news.
they got that
But
inside scoop.
haven't
Dude,
heard
I
that
feel
ever
like
yet.
they have to, because at this point, I actually would unironically call the Steam Deck a Switch killer. I wouldn't say that the Switch is dead. And I want to always be clear that just because I'm not, I sold my Nintendo Switch does not mean that I think there's any problem with the quality of the first party games or anything like that. Like I don't want to, make, I don't want to poop on people's love of the Switch, right? Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for everybody, and I don't want people to feel that way. But I still don't like Nintendo's business practices with like they continue to mess up pre-orders and stuff. Yeah, I mean I don't have to tell you guys, but there's like the Metroid Prime fiasco and stuff. That it's always a pre-order problem. Nintendo, what are you doing? So anyway, more and more people are picking up the Steam Deck to.
And we still don't have like themes. Where are our themes
Oh, you
for
don't have
our
themes on the
new?
deck or
No,
on
no,
Switch?
on the Switch. There's no. You have light and you have dark.
Wait, but
Yeah.
is
Those
it?
are your themes.
They don't have any others?
Nope.
I was sure they'd be like, here's a yellow Pikmin one, here's a red Mario one, here's a green Link
People
one.
have modded their Switches so that they have themes, and some of them have like dynamic themes, kind of like how the PS4 and 5 do, which I think are really cool. And I'm just surprised. I mean, what? How old is the Switch now?
Old
7.
enough. It's like, well, it's you. Well, so relating it back to what you'd said, it's almost like a last generation console because at this point, yeah, they have released, like the
It's 6 years
Pro
old.
or whatever.
On the third, it will be 6 years old.
And most the old cycle used to be 7 years for a console. It's like kind of outdated and stuff is always changing because now we have consoles that go through like a half measure. Like the console. I mean, the PlayStation 4.5 is basically the Pro. You know, and so on. But I feel like the Switch has got to do something soon. I think, as someone who isn't interested in buying one, so I'm not really the target audience because I think I've made up my mind. But
Well,
uh,
they
I,
just announced a new Mario Day one, by the way.
Oh yeah, the one that you could choose your Mario game or whatever
Mhm.
for like, what do
for
you
a
mean?
Nintendo Switch
New
system.
bundle.
It's a bundle,
Like
so you get it.
you get the game, or it's like a special edition, like it looks the Switch physically looks different.
No, there's nothing physically different about the Switch. You do get like the signature Mario Red Joy-Con, like how the
Those are
Odyssey came
actually
with.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really collectible. But then you get your choice of one of 3 games to choose from, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, I think, and then something else. I don't know. I don't. But it's just like cool, I guess. I don't even think it's an OLED model though. I think it's just a V2. I didn't look that deep into it though.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. And I'm light on the facts anyway, high on passion though. But I'd be interested to see how like the Switch versus Steam deck would hold up, specifically in a time like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, where there is so much stuff going on. Because it seems like what I saw, your Switch is handling it really well. I didn't see any serious issues, like anything that I would complain about, uh, going on screen. It's just like what you said, Vilos. It's more of a thing like look at the combat and you'll decide if you want it or not.
Yeah.
Because either that's your bag or it isn't. But the game itself runs great. It seems,
It runs beautifully. It is so good, and that is actually the reason I would want the next stage. I would want the next Switch to be able to run a cartridge and it be Xenoblade and just make this game extra killer. It's so good already. Like it could only get better.
Do you think 5 or 10 years ago they could have come out with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 like it is today? Like, what does it have, very generally speaking? Because like FTL looks like it could have come out yesterday based on the old retro style graphics and stuff. It runs fine. It's very clever. Like I said, if you handed that to me and said it came out last week, I could believe you.
See, Benson just made the point that I was going to make because they did it already, except X was not the story that 3 is. But they
Xenoblade
did.
X, not Xenoblade
Xenoblade Chronicles
10?
X. Xenoblade Chronicles X was the game. Like you can literally play a 4K version of Xenoblade Chronicles X on emulators right now, and it is so pretty, like ridiculous. And it was on the fucking Wii U in
Man, a Lear in that
2015
game would
or
have been like
2017.
an 11 out of 10, and every character would have told you about it.
That's
Yeah.
extra plot.
Oh, actually, that's Fire Emblem, isn't it? Now I'm crossing
Yeah.
the streams.
I will say the funniest thing is unfortunately Fire Emblem does give the biggest boobs to the protagonist in the past 2 games, the past 2 games that they've made for Fire Emblem. They have purposefully done that, and it's a little bit of a disappointment.
I
But
mean, you know what?
Wait,
After what they did with Pirate and Mithra in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I mean, we saw how the internet reacted to all of that. So I think they were just like, we
I
need to
can't
do
believe
that. And
neither
then
of
now they're
you.
doing that.
I can't believe neither of you are playing Genshin Impact, because to me, all that is to me is just like waifu Breath of the Wild, right? Like
It's Breath of the Waifu is what it is.
I don't even know if I've ever seen more than 5 minutes of gameplay from that game, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's probably one of these JRPGs, and it's just got anime girls in it.
the
Like,
the thing is, like, there's still nuance in Xeno, and there's a lot less than there was, but there's still nuance in Fire Emblem. There's less nuance to Genshin's bullshit, and
I
they
mean,
are making
Genshin's
you
just a
pay.
gacha game anyway, you know?
Exactly, they're making you
yeah,
pay for all those fucking characters,
yeah.
and like, I'm not gonna do that, even though some of them, yeah,
I mean, the new one that they just
yeah.
released, Dahlia, I think her name is. I love seeing my dark skin queens, well, quote unquote asterisk dark skin queens up in that game.
Well,
It is a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
I love that for you too. Cram had
I
said
did plot.
that he had just started Fire Emblem Engage very recently, so I'm excited for them. I mean, I'm glad that Jerp can jump on that train with you. And Violence, I was happy to see you in Discord the other day to be able to pop in, because I like watching that stuff, not just like the clipped, the best and worst of it, but kind of just the meat and potatoes in between.
Too bad.
Well, if you pop in again, I'll watch you. That's what I'll do.
I have a question for you, Violet. So this time that you've been spending
Yeah.
playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, how many times have you said Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
Not 3,000 times.
3,000?
Wait, 3,000? I thought it was 300.
Not
Okay.
not 300 times. Sorry.
At this point, we've
Uh,
mentioned it just on our official
total of 5,
streams like 150 times. It's got to be.
We're at least halfway through. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll
We need one
We
of our
have to go back and
star mods to go back through all of our footage and
all of
tally
our.
that up.
I mean, I have talked about it for at least 5 or 6 episodes. Just in, yeah, at least 5 or 6.
Disney says, I think the interest is up to 3,000 now. That checks out. We've been running since November, so it just keeps growing.
I mean, I will say, I will guarantee that if the timing is right, because we don't know when the time is yet. Wave 4 DLC, that is the next story bit of Xenoblade 3, and that I will stream, because nobody can fucking ruin it for me, because I will be playing it day one. I will take off work and nobody can ruin it for me. So
Yep.
yeah.
Wait,
When
which
that
is this?
happens. When Wave 4 DLC comes out for
Ah, right,
Xenoblade,
okay.
it's sometime this year, but there is not a date yet.
So this was Wave 3?
Yeah, this was Wave 3, and Wave 4 is potentially both a prologue and epilogue to the game, which is kind of a prologue and epilogue to the entire series.
So what
Oh,
would that be? Like
gosh.
a requel? Like what would that be?
I mean, that's kind of the thing. Xenoblade 2 had a prequel as its DLC. That was a standalone game.
Was that the Torna one?
Yeah, Torn of the Golden Country. Yeah. So this one has Best Boy Rex from Xenoblade 2 that everybody shat on and is now the man. Like
Wait, what does that mean?
he's him according to the
Oh,
kiddo.
so he pulled a what's the protagonist from How to Train Your Dragon?
Oh, what is this?
Hiccup. He pulled a
Yeah.
Hiccup.
Wait, I still don't. That I love How to Train Your Dragon. I understand even less now.
I mean,
The glow up is real.
yeah,
Oh,
The glow
okay,
up.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He pulled a Neville Longbottom.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Because-
I understand that.
Spoiler alert for anybody that wants to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You've got 5 seconds. It's already been spoiled because I mean everybody
wait,
fucking finished
wait,
this
what?
game
No,
2
hold
months
on, wait, what's happening? You're about to spoil the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
It's not even the end. It's
Vilos, I was
one
gonna play
particular
it.
thing
Okay,
in
well
the
now I'm
end.
not going to anymore. Just go ahead
There
and say what
goes
you're gonna say.
7 hours of my hypothetical life I'll never get back.
More like 140 hours. But the ending of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 thing that happens to show the protagonist from 2 with the 3 other technical protagonists, the 3 other main characters from the game. Yeah. No, the hype is actually real. If you knew who this was, this boy Rex, this 15-year-old boy Rex, has his Aegis Blade Pyra, who is also Mithra. At the end of Xenoblade 2, they separate into 2 different people. They've got the
Because those are like the elemental, like.
it's literally it would
Because
take me an
plot.
hour.
Sure.
You've got Pyra and Mithra, as you know from Smash Bros, but you also have Nia, the beautiful Welsh cat girl that is just
I love Nia so
everything.
much. Just
And guess what? Well, Rex happens to be a 15-year-old boy that these 3 ageless women fell in love with. And at the end of Xenoblade 2, we know something's going on. And at the end of Xenoblade 3, we have a fucking photo of Rex being the chaddest of them all and having Pyra, Mithra, and Nia all having separate babies of their own.
Oh, what?
Rex.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
wow.
I didn't think it would be
Yeah.
that concrete.
That is
Oh,
very
it's obvious.
wish fulfillment.
It is, and it destroyed the internet for a few days, and it's still constantly getting people.
Oh my.
But he has become the chaddest Chad, and so
Just
in the
to be clear,
picture,
he's grown
though,
up in this, right?
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. So in the picture that you see at the end of Xenoblade 3, he's like 30-ish, somewhere in there.
I mean,
literally, he looks completely different, but you know it's him,
that
right?
kid in Pentiment was only like 14 or something. He's a dad, you know?
I
Oh,
mean,
Martin
very
was right.
mature for that age.
Well, very something.
But in this
Wait,
Xenoblade,
that's Rex?
yeah, oh yeah, no, Sob's getting it now. So
Oh my.
in the Xenoblade DLC trailer that we got a couple weeks ago, Rex is daddy. Like he is
See, look, I
everything.
saw his
He is
picture online, like
the
on
man.
Twitter, without knowing who he was, and I was like, "Oh, who's this character?
Yeah.
How you doing?" That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, puberty really hit him like a ton of bricks. Damn, like good bricks, like a brick house.
I see before pictures. I don't know if I see
Mhm.
a glow up picture. I even
Oh
typed.
yeah, Sob, you got to get that to him.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay, well, I just
for
googled
research.
Xenoblade 3 Rex picture. That's what I googled.
He became a true man, and that's like this is the DLC to end all DLCs. I don't think anything's ever going to come close to it.
Shoot, I can understand why they, got busy. Can he equip me next? Hello?
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, it's so funny and it's so great. And again, that's seriously 300 hours between those 2 games of story development. So
I know so little about
Absolutely.
this game. Okay, so no kidding. Of all the pictures I've looked at, I don't know which one is young Rex and if any of these are glow up Rex. Because everyone just looks, like a teenager to me, like they do in all these games. So I don't really know who's the 30-year-old version, but I'm sure he's in there. Oh, one of these pictures is the sword fighter from Smash that actually looks
Oh, the
exactly
costume.
like him. That's pretty good. Um, well,
Uh,
that's wonderful. Okay, Vilos. So you're playing Xenoblade
mhm,
Chronicles 3 when you should be playing
mhm,
Fire Emblem Engage. Okay,
mhm.
chat's on fire with people who are like, "Wow, why are you not completing your monthly goal? How could you have done this?" What's next on your list on your JRPG list? Like after Fire Emblem is done,
Yeah,
what's on deck?
I gave myself room to move stuff around if I absolutely had to, and I think what it's going to be is because right now, and on the top of my head, I can't actually remember. I think next month I had Tales of Symphonia officially on the list next, but
Oh my god.
I've had that game forever, so I like it can be sometime this year. I did, however, get Octopath Traveler 2 a lot earlier than I anticipated. I got it on launch day, and I didn't want to, but then I wanted to. So I think Octopath is going to be the March game with
Hey,
Fire Emblem. So Octopath 2.
I'm
Okay,
hearing a
Octopath
lot
2.
of good stuff about that game, so I think you might be in for a treat.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm interested in that. Cool art style that is I mean not one of a kind, but I feel like they're the ones that coined it for me. The
Yeah.
1.5D, or the 2.5D, not quite 3D, but you've got like a bunch of 2D ish characters in a 3D world. Yeah, excited to see that. I don't know anything about Octopath Traveler 2.
Yeah, if you
So
haven't seen video of this one, it's actually the best that the HD 2D has looked, even better than Triangle Strategy. So
wow,
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
game I still need to play. I have it in my Steam library.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you
I
to.
tell you what, my goal, when I play it, I will binge through it because it's so long that if I don't binge it, I know the way that I play games. I love starting games. It's why I play roguelikes because I just constantly restart, you know. But I know if I want to actually see that game through, I've got to binge the crap out of it. So my goal will between before the end of the year, I will beat one game while Vilos beats like 12
At
supermassive
least 12.
100-hour
Yeah.
games.
Oh,
Um,
that's so funny.
and then some. So don't worry, you actually will be the first one to know any update on that. But when I'm ready to play it, yeah, I'm gonna binge the crap out of Triangle Strategy because that game looks good. And it's
Yeah.
got that great like political intrigue that I'm really looking forward to. I had somebody recommend to me. We were having a chat in our Discord a little while ago about Star Trek stuff. We have a movies and TV show channel, and somebody was saying we were talking about Star Trek, and I was like, well, I've only watched the first two seasons of Next Generation. Really enjoyed it, and actually, it's made me appreciate FTL more because it really is like take power away from oxygen. Sorry, everybody, try not to breathe, and power the shields. And it feels like you're going. Each level is an episode of Star Trek Generation. You've got some way crazy situation that you've got to solve before you head on your way. But somebody recommended Deep Space Nine, saying, "Well, that's the one that I've been recommended that I remember." And our experts in chat had mentioned that one has a lot of political intrigue, which is like space political intrigue is exactly my favorite kind of space sci-fi. It's why I like Mass Effect. It's why I know I will like The Expanse, which Chris likes a whole lot. If he was here,
I was
he'd.
just about to ask if you'd seen The Expanse because it's pretty good.
I've seen the first like 3 or 4 episodes, and it was very good. I just wasn't in a position to finish it, but I do want to finish it. It's also got the actress I like a whole lot. She's the main like congresswoman, basically, like the senator.
Oh, the one with like the deep voice?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, I love her.
we love her in this household. Which is a shame that I don't have her name ready to go. Um, but she's a fantastic voice actor and actress. She voice acts Tally's mom in Mass Effect, but she's voiced a ton of things, and
I
y'all
don't know
would
how
know
to
her.
say this, but it's like Shora Agdashlu.
Yes, that's exactly why I didn't know it off the top of my head. She's so talented, and everybody knows her. It's the moment she speaks, everyone knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I need to watch The Expanse. Deep Space Nine sounds cool, but the political intrigue of Triangle Strategy is what makes that stand out for me. Because I'm less worried about people being very pretty, and I'm more worried about having that game kind of live in my head while I'm not playing it. Where I'm really thinking about the decisions you could make and why does this person want this, and if this happened, what would I do?
I
So
can't
you're
wait.
more concerned about the actual story than you are the plot.
I actually do play the JRPGs for the articles, So
I will say they don't give you as much plot in Triangle Strategy, but
that's okay.
um,
That's okay. The overarching decisions that you make through combat is enough for me.
I can't wait for you to agonize though. Like if you did it on stream, you just fucking it would be one decision that you
Yeah.
were gonna make the entire
What
stream
I
and
will
just
It's
do.
like watching you play
what?
through the villainous version of Undertale.
Oh gosh, tough
Yeah.
times, man. Tough times. That was pretty rough. I had the anniversary of that pop up this past week, I think, of playing that. Honestly, the the Renegade run of Undertale was not worth it because of how impossibly difficult it was and how like weirdly light on content it was. But I was glad to see Megalovania in its natural habitat, and to see that game 100% of the way through. I'm sure there are a couple things I've not seen in there, but I've basically 100%ed Undertale. That game rules. But yeah, I will record when I play Triangle Strategy, so that when those big moments come up, I can, my reaction will be real. Because I mean, what's the runtime? Like Triangle Strategy is like 80 hours, right?
50 at the very least. Yeah, so
Yeah,
But they
70
didn't
to
make
80 is
it. They didn't make it so that
which
it was like
means
divisible by
80.
3.
Yeah.
yes.
No, that would be Fire Emblem. They like to do threes everything. 3 houses, 3, 3
Menage a
emblems.
trois.
I mean, yeah.
We've all
Yeah.
been there. But I tell you what, we're way off track, but I'm really enjoying this conversation. To bring it back around, because we will have more JRPG talk next week, no doubt. I'll bounce back to what I've been playing. The other thing I've been playing with everybody in preparation for Sons of the Forest is Project Zomboid. I'm gonna get this video playing of us just cruising a little bit. Um, we were playing a lot over the past week because like I said, we're all very excited for Sons of the Forest, but we wanted to get as close to the maximum of 8 players as possible. Zomboid, I think, goes up to 16. It technically goes further as long as the host computer can handle it. Zomboid's cool. It's a game you start. It's the end of the world. It looks like The Sims 2 that came out in like 2000 early.
No way, not me literally just saying that in chat.
Oh yeah, yeah. It really does. It looks like it's The Sims 1 or 2, with the isometric look you can see on screen right now. It's very pixely, but it is pretty. They've got like modern-ish lighting and stuff for when you move throughout the world. When you're in a car, the camera looks much different because the camera gets way ahead of you so that you don't just smash into something. Because when you smash a car into something in Zomboid, you'll be sorry. There's no, like you're not just gonna break your car and then be fine like you are in a lot of games. Like you spend a lot of time souping one up, or you've got a bunch of stuff in the trunk. Well, I put a bunch of stuff in the back of a real beater that I found. I found the key in an office building because this game's all about scavenging and these like systems on systems on systems. I found a key in a house and I walked outside. It went to the car that was outside. It's pretty beat up, but it worked. And then I did a bunch of donuts in the gas station parking lot, and I smashed into a garage. Then I had to unload everything from the trunk because suddenly it couldn't go more than 6 feet without the engine dying. Oops. But here we have Deadpool driving us in this souped-up limo that has like a grill on the front, specifically for running over zombies and stuff. But this game's super cool. It's just got a lot of layers. We played our first community night of this, like, probably a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. We play so many games now that it's hard to figure out when stuff actually came out, especially when a lot of these games came out like 5 or 10 years ago. But this has been a really good time. Odysseus says armored for his pleasure. And that's exactly right. Deadpool, if you give him any sort of vehicle for long enough, that thing's going to walk out of there with extra lights, with probably a souped up engine somehow. I don't know how mechanics work. Not in this
We
game.
heard you like popcorn, so we put a popcorn machine maker in your popcorn trunk.
Dude, I wouldn't be
Take
surprised
my ride.
if Deadpool's like, yeah, actually, you can pop popcorn in the trunk. There's a microwave that's powered somehow, even though we're like literally driving right now. Um, it's good stuff. Oh, actually, I never went through this footage, but I remember this from when we were playing. We're about to park, get out, and then accidentally almost get run over by Hot Rod, who's going to come tearing through in a minute with a trailer attached to the back of his car. But this game, it's the end of the world. You fight hordes of zombies that spawn over time. You start the game, and it's all about like scavenging, and the power's on and the water is on. Yeah, but here's Hot Rod. Hey, Mr. Okay. We had no idea he was coming. He just showed up. I guess that's what we get for parking in the middle of the road.
It was so close though.
It was
Oh my
really
God.
close. Just like, okay. Yeah, because in this game, like when you break an arm or something, like you're messed up. Like you're probably gonna die. I jumped out of a window one time trying to escape from some zombies, broke my leg, and then I did die to some zombies. Just it took a minute. But Zomboid's great. We have a lot of people playing that, and I'm sure we'll continue to revisit it. As always, our community plays a whole lot of survival games, especially survival games and shooters. So if this is the kind of game that you're intrigued by, you should join our Discord and play with us, because playing this on your own would be fun, but playing this with a group is the way that it's meant to be enjoyed. There are also lots of mods, like a bunch of the vehicles and other things that we have in our playthrough. They're really only possible because of all the mods that we've installed. It's a very mod-friendly game. But Zomboid is great. I'm just going to let this footage run because eventually we're going to get back to our base, where we go into the garage and one of the vehicles that's already in there spawns as we pull in, and it puts us in a real situation. I'll blow it up when we get back to our base. Actually, I think we're almost here. Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's get us full screen is what I meant. So we park at our base, the fire station here, and watch this vehicle spawn. Okay, we're just gonna pull in. Okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, we're not. Oh, that's So now we spend the next like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to like get into this vehicle to move it, because now all the vehicles are stuck. If we let the footage keep running, you'd see me run outside, because my plan was to just run something into it, to
Like
get my.
it didn't even give you video gamey shit. Like it just stopped you.
Yeah, it just stops you because the physics are real, but it hadn't loaded in yet, so the physics weren't real yet. This was me getting into my vehicle, my designated. Like, look at all of our vehicles here. Like, everybody has a different one, and there are a bunch of extras and stuff. These knuckleheads they didn't even ask me. They took the gas straight out of my car to put it in the generator to run the base. So here I am. I'm like, this thing's not working. I don't know why it's working. Oh, well, you got to put fuel in it, mister. But yeah, so they've got all sorts of stuff like that. There are lots of just complex systems in a simple-looking world. But this game's rad. That's Project Zomboid. We've been playing it lately as we've worked our way towards Sons of the Forest this weekend tomorrow. But it's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying that. My favorite memory so far, though, wasn't even us playing. It was all of us in chat after we started up, or after we resumed playing this world. It's all of us in chat, and Fuzzy Man Peach, regular community member, hops in voice chat, and I was like in the kitchen or something. And I come back and I hear Odysseus and Deadpool, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, absolutely! Oh man, I can't. It's gonna be great." And I go, "What?" Like, I just put my headphones on. What are you guys talking about? And somebody, Odysseus like, "Tell him." And Fuzzy's like, "Well, I was thinking about playing some Zomboid with you guys." And I was like, "Oh my gosh! Oh, Fuzzy, you're gonna love it. We're gonna love playing with you. It's so great with a group. You're gonna be so excited." And yeah, so they're like, "Yeah, that's what we said." So we were just so excited to have more people in a group, because the more people you get in something like this, it can get chaotic and goofy and all of this, but it's so much fun. Also, when you have a big group, it's lower commitment, because then when each individual person does or doesn't contribute to the group, or isn't able to play for several sessions or whatever, it's lower impact. So it's easier for players to like not feel like they're doing something wrong, like they're playing wrong or something. Um, with this, so since we've been playing this and it's been so fresh on our minds, I wanted to walk you guys through a little bit of what we're looking forward to Sons of the Forest. So Sons of the Forest is a survival game. I assume you've got a hunger and a thirst bar, but you're in the woods for some reason. You're in the forest, and you need to build a base and protect yourself from cannibals that live in the woods. These
Now, when
spooky.
you say a thirst bar,
It. Yes. Um. There's probably a mod for that, is what I'm saying. Um. There's you got to survive. There's surviving and there's living. So I'm gonna be the guy who's trying to live. That's why you decorate the inside of a base. You can see check out my layout. I put these tables in here. In our garage, I brought the TV out. Oh no! Oh geez, go back downstairs, Thomas. Uh, I put a VHS, I put a VCR and all that stuff in our main garage.
ooh, look at that deer head.
That's living. That's a trophy right there.
You're not only surviving, you're thriving.
That's right. We're thriving. So yeah. So we've been enjoying this, and in Sons of the Forest, I want to do the best thing for a big group, because when you're in a Discord chat that has like 6 or more people, it gets chaotic really fast. So to try to coordinate is difficult. Also, as someone who likes the immersion of these games and really liked when we played Zomboid and we did role playing briefly. Oh, that's the wrong one. We did role playing and had a lot of fun with that. It was a very, very good time. Now I want to go into Sons of the Forest and use the proximity chat only. So this is going to be a big thing, because it means when we go off on our own missions, or if we're all hanging out at home base, you can only hear those people. So when you go off and you get isolated from everybody, you're isolated. Like, you're gone. You should have made a plan. That's a zombie apocalypse, So in Zomboid, we have a bunch of walkie-talkies. We even have a ham radio. So now we can communicate over long distances. I'm hoping to do something like that in Sons of the Forest. We're also trying to sleep through the night, because I realized, just as like someone who has played a lot of these games for a while and kind of recognizes how many different ways people want to play, especially more casual players. So like I like immersion, but sometimes when people jump in, it's easier to play a more immersive version of the game rather than a more efficient version of the game. So I enjoy these games. Imagine it's like Minecraft, right? It's nighttime. Now you can go to sleep. When you go to sleep, you fast travel forward. Probably like 8 hours is usually the standard. I'm hoping to do that with Sons of the Forest, because it gives this wonderful moment. The same way that at the end of an Overwatch match, you see the play of the game, right? It's not just about showing a cool thing that happened. It's a moment that all those players share together with each other. They can laugh at it or poke fun or rage at it and leave so they don't have to watch it. But it gives you this social moment where you're able to kind of take stock of all the stuff that just happened to you over the past 15 minutes, So games like this are the same. When you have a sleep cycle, it allows you to kind of schedule out the game a little bit more, to get structure to what's going on, because it's so easy in a huge group of people to get lost in what in the world is happening. Because look, my character's doing stuff in the kitchen here. I know that there are people in the garage fixing up, loading up vehicles and unloading. There are people getting ready for the next mission that we're going to go on and killing zombies outside our base. And then some people like to just go off on their own and just kill zombies nonstop. There are a lot of ways to play these games, and having everybody like go to sleep and then wake up at the same time gives this good social moment where everyone can take stock of like, okay, what in the world are you guys doing today? Oh, you're going on a mission to the post office to go loot, to find books and all this stuff. Great, I'm on board. Or hey, we need more food. Can you cook that tomorrow? So that's something I'm looking forward to. So that'll be spicy. Playing Sons of the Forest with only proximity chat, and we all have to try to sleep. Sometimes you won't be able to sleep because you'll be stuck in a cave with cannibals. We've all been there. But really looking forward to that, and Project Zomboid has been a fantastic substitute for that, to get that survival fix right now. So shout out to all the community members out there who are going to play and who have been playing all these games. It's been wonderful. and we really couldn't do it without you. But with that being the last one, I think that's what we've been playing. I think that's it, huh?
Da-da-da-chan.
That
Bum,
was the
ba-da-bum.
longest what we've been playing segment in a
Uh,
while.
you're right. Do we even want to do the party topic, or do we play Pentiment? Huh? Uh,
Mm, that's hard. I feel like we should do Pentiment.
yeah, I would be cool to skip straight over to
Okay.
Pentiment. Uh,
Yeah.
with how excited I was last time. Well, I tell you what, I'll repeat what the party topic was because we will do it again. So think about it, and I think it's a fun thing to chew on at home. But what we were going to do, and we're not going to do it anymore, is asking the question of what is one genre of games that you don't really play, but you should play more of. So yeah, think about that because we'll do that. I mean, maybe we'll do it next week. We come up with these a lot based on whatever's been in the news lately or whatever we have been playing and stuff. So yeah, we'll skip over to Pentiment here in a minute, so we'll wrap up. But let us know because it's always fun to try out new things. I mean, to tie this up a little bit, Vilos again. I'm really excited you're gonna play Sons of the Forest with us because we play a lot of survival games, and usually you're like, I'm good. You guys look like you're dying just fine on your own, you know. Um, but with these games, it's almost like lightning in a bottle. They you can only play them for the first time once, you know, one time. So to play that all with everybody at the same time is great. Survival games struggle when some people get really experienced and are way further ahead than everyone else. So yeah, getting in on this session one is that's where it's at. So
And just a reminder, I didn't hear for sure if there is an update yet, but the fact is that we had this week or two or whatever uh, to let them get the kinks worked out a little bit. So a shit ton of people have played this game.
yeah,
So I think some stuff's probably been worked on or is being worked on by the time we get to play it. So
yeah, and it is early access, just like Space Kerbal Space Program 2 just came out in early access, and it's had like mixed reviews, which is not surprising at all. It's an early access game, and if you know anything about the first game, of course it's going to have mixed reviews. But people seem weirdly shocked that an early access game isn't finished, even though an early access game is like sometimes more of an alpha than it is even a beta. You know, I don't know. People are grumpy and need to manage their expectations online. But seeing these two early access releases side by side of Kerbal with mixed reviews and Sons of the Forest with over 2 million, uh, I think it was over 2 million positive reviews. I might be mixed up. Maybe it was 2 million players. But in the first week, it's wide success, and I think it was a great decision of them to bring it out in early access first instead of working on it internally and then releasing it 1.0 to a bunch of possibly mixed reviews. So anyway, very excited for that. Sons of the Forest stream will be tomorrow. It'll be on Friday the 3rd around 8:30-ish Central Time. Um, as early as we're able to play it is when we're going to load it up. So please tune in. So that's going to do it for our vodcast number 103. We played a bunch. Yeah, even though we were light on the things that we actually played this week, we obviously had plenty to talk about. So that's why I love getting in this room and huddling with all y'all. And everybody in chat, I really appreciate it. Tell us what you're playing, what you're excited to play, and what you just don't have enough time to play. What's on your backlog that you haven't, you've been meaning to get to, but you haven't lately. Let us know here in chat as we take a break heading into Pentiment, which is going to be the three of us with our community voice supports of Shanny Pack, Deadpool, and Hot Rod. And hit us up on Twitter and all that stuff. You can visit our website at partyinvite.games. That's where you can find Vilos' list of all his JRPGs that he has the goal of beating before the end of the year, and a bunch of other stuff. And what else? Am I missing anything, y'all?
oh yeah, actually, there's an event coming up in a little bit over a week that we wanted to give a little shout out for.
Oh yes, there is. Oh yeah, let me pull this up. Give me just a moment here. Vilos, I didn't forget. You forgot. Um, yeah, we'll play this. So actually, I'm gonna wait because I'll make sure I have the right thing pulled up here. This is probably going to make sounds. Yeah, I'm going to play this with the sound. Does this look any good? Sorry, everybody. You guys can't see this yet, so... yeah, we're going to do this. Our friends, Gary, Scary Gary in Kansas City,
Yay.
is one of many who are involved in running this all-in-one game, or all-in-one expo is what it's called. It is intended to cover all sorts of gaming from retro and physical, like tabletop, to modern and anything in between. Gary was very involved when I was running game events back in Kansas City. He was always there. We were always in the same places because he's a doer. He's also very involved in like the horror community and a lot of other stuff. But he, has he's walking the walk, and he's out there putting together a way for gamers to get together in Kansas City that is this all-in-one game expo. So let me roll the tape here.
Tickets are on sale now for the All-in-One Gaming Expo,
March 11th and 12th at the Ball Event Center
in Olathe, Kansas.
That's right, we're Kansas City's premier all-inclusive, all-ages event that focuses on all types of play. We have a vendor room, we have a tabletop space, we have a game room, we have artist alley, we have panels round the clock. And if you can't make it, that's okay too. We have a stream happening both days, so you can watch it from home.
Please click the link below.
We look forward to seeing you there.
Hell yeah. So they're doing all sorts of stuff. I appreciate those guys. They love what they do, and I know that we all can agree that like doing stuff in person with other people is really something special. I know Planet Comic-Con's coming up in like soon, right? Like 2 weeks or something, 3 weeks.
Something like that.
I think Emerald City Comic-Con here in Seattle is this weekend, I want to say. I think I've seen people setting up booths and stuff. But those in-game events are really fun, and I think it's important to remember that through COVID, your social muscles need to be flexed just like anything else. Like they'll atrophy if you don't go out and see anybody. And a lot of gamers, like we find ourselves inside at our desks, like me, or on our couches, or wherever, and we can just find ourselves isolating ourselves because everything we want, is on a screen nearby. But I would really encourage everybody to go to events like this in person, because it's not just about meeting people; it's about being in a positive space with others, where you can kind of relax and breathe and discover things and all that. So go check that out. That's All-in-One Expo, hosted by our friend Scary Gary, among others, in Kansas City. We'll have a link to that.
Be there too, representing Casey Game On. So not missing me.
Yeah, we saw Casey Game On in there. We saw Rerolled Tavern. We saw Level 1 Level 1 Shop. Oh gosh, I don't think
I think so. Yeah, no, I think
Is
it's
that right?
Level 1.
Level 1 Shop. I can see the logo in my head, but I don't say it out loud very often. But that stuff's good. Go check it out. All-in-One Gaming Expo. When did they say that was?
The 11th and 12th.
The 11th and 12th of March. Hell yeah. Did I get that? It is March, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now I'd feel silly because I didn't ask.
And
Okay.
it is in Olathe for those of you that are upper Casey Metro. So just a reminder, you'll have to take the highway. So
carpool. It's not so bad.
make plans.
I mean, I've seen what those highways look like on, The Last of Us, and they were very accurate representations. So,
Oh,
speaking as a Casey Metro native, they nailed it.
that's right. Why didn't they show Ward Parkway? That would have been the most pothole-ridden street of them all. Okay, well, this has been episode 103. My name is Tegan. Over there is Vilos. Over here is Sovereign Sid. Thanks, y'all, for joining us for this wonderful what we've been playing for the show. For everybody, look forward to our next episode of Pentiment on our YouTube. But we're going to take a short little break, and we'll see you all again very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.